Hi, my name's Sarah DeBorre. This is Jess. The wonderful Jess is going to keep us company today. And we are practicing a core focused class today. So it's not going to be a traditional Vinyasa or slow flow. We're going to really work on the core. There will be some elements of what you'd consider to be our normal sort of Vinyasa practice. So that will be worked in, but it'll be a shorter class and we're really going to work through a lot of different asanas to engage our core, because core is so important in everyday life and also in the practice of yoga. I am currently outdoors on the 37-acre property that my husband and I call home, which is just outside of Heathcote, and that's in regional Victoria between Melbourne and Bendigo. We're not going to start in a meditation today. Instead, we're going to get straight into it. So when you're ready, get that mat rolled out and let's get down and meet in our forearm plank. So in your forearm plank, you can have arms faced forward like you do in a Sphinx or in a dolphin pose. You can choose to cross the arms over or even make a fist, whatever is going to be comfortable for you. But coming down and setting up for our forearm plank and making sure that butt is nice and low. We're engaging that lower belly, glutes are on. We're pushing back through those heels and there's a gentle tuck of that tailbone. Gaze should be just on the mat in front of you, so we don't want to crane that neck. And we're holding here. Breathing in and out through the nose. Don't forget to breathe. If this gets too much, you can drop to the knees, but really try to push yourself. If you're still on your feet, let's hover the right toes off of the mat and bring that right knee in towards the right elbow. Take it back, feet to the mat. Left toes hover and left knee towards the left elbow. Take it back and place it on the mat. And we're holding again. Two more breaths. And then lower the belly all the way to the mat, coming to our Sphinx pose. Untuck the toes. Whew. It's nice to release through that front body. Let's make this an active Sphinx. So plugging the toenails down towards the mat or ground and spreading those fingers, we're going to work to pull our chest through those biceps. So drawing the shoulder blades together. A gentle tuck of the pubic bone, so pushing the pubic bone down into the mat is going to help ease off any pressure or compression through that lower back. And tucking the toes, let's push back up to our forearm plank. Just for a moment, left hand comes down and right hand pushing up to our high plank. Making sure that butt's not too high up in the air, doming through the shoulders. Two more breaths. Knees are always an option. And right forearm comes to the mat and left arm back to our forearm plank. This time, right hand to the mat, left hand back to our normal plank. Doming through the shoulders, belly draws in, and don't forget to breathe. On the inhale, let's hover the right toes off of the mat, and exhale, right knee touches the right elbow. Send it back, And exhale, left toes come off of the mat. Left knee to left elbow and send it back. Let's lower the knees and tuck back to our child's pose. Forehead drops down to the mat. Knees can be wide or narrow. And let's tuck those toes now, and we're going to push up to our down dog. Maybe taking a little pedal out through those legs just to warm up a little. Breath in, we're going to ripple forward to our high plank. Knees on or off, let's lower all the way down to the mat, chaturanga. Once you reach the mat, we're going to take the arms back besides our body, palms face down, so arms are long. On the breath in, we're going to rise up, baby cobra. And exhale to release. Toenails are plugging down into the mat. Breath in, baby cobra. And exhale to release. Cobra. Maybe hovering those hands off of the mat. And we're holding here for another breath. And exhale to release. This time we're going to take and feet are going to come up off of the mat. So breath in, lifting up. Drawing those shoulder blades together. Feet lift a little higher. One more breath here. And exhale, release everything down to the mat. Hands underneath the shoulders. Let's push up to our tabletop. Hands are in line with our shoulders, knees under hips. Coming through 3 rounds of cat-cow. So breath in, dip the belly, gaze lifts. And exhale to tuck everything under. Inhale, dipping that belly. And exhale to tuck it all under. One more, breath in. And breath out. Coming back to neutral, let's extend the right arm and left leg at the same time. We're really active here. Left toes are flexing towards the shin. Left glute is engaged. Right arm is reaching out like we're going to shake someone's hand. Belly draws in and up. And exhale, elbow comes to knee. Inhale to extend. And exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale to extend. And exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale to extend, and let's take that right hand down to the mat. We're going to kickstand the right shin out to the right, so just behind you, and we're going to take the left arm off of the mat, coming into our supported side plank. So maybe lifting that leg a little higher and turning the toes so the big toe faces towards the mat or the ground. Belly draws in and up. And on your next inhale, let's reach that left arm overhead. And exhale, elbow comes to knee. Inhale to extend. And exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, extend. And exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale to extend. And this time let's take the sole of the left foot to the mat. We're going to use the strength of our core to lift up into our gate pose. Right fingertips sweep up and overhead, feeling that nice juicy stretch all the way through the right side body. Staying here just for a couple of breaths. And on your next inhale breath, we're going to come through some pulses. So we're going to take our right fingertips back to the mat. So breath in and exhale. Fingertips come down to the mat. Inhale, lifts us back up, right fingertips to the sky. Exhale, right fingertips kiss the mat. And back up and over. One more. Right fingertips to the mat. And right fingertips back up to the sky. Right hand comes down to the mat, as does the left. We're coming back to our all fours. Let's take a round of cat-cow. So breath in, dips the belly. And exhale to tuck everything under. Coming back to neutral. This time, right leg extends, left arm. Really flexing that right glute and our toes are flexing really hard towards that right shin. On the exhale, elbow comes to knee. Inhale to extend. Exhale, elbow to knee. And inhale to extend. One more. Elbow to knee. And extend. Left hand comes to the mat. We kickstand the left shin out behind us as we peel the right hand up and off of the mat into our supported side plank. Let's lift that right leg a little higher and then turn the big toe to face the mat. Lower belly draws in and up. Inhale, the right arm sweeps up and overhead. And exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale to extend. Ooh, there's a big march fly. Sorry, everyone. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale to extend. And exhale, elbow comes to knee. Inhale to extend, and this time the right sole of the foot comes to the ground as we use the strength of our core to lift up into gate pose. Right hand slides down the right thigh, left arm sweeps up and overhead, feeling that nice stretch through the left side body. A few breaths here. Now we're going to come through those sort of side pulses where our left fingertips are going to come back to the mat and then we'll come back into gate. So let's take an inhale to prepare and exhale, left fingertips touch the mat. Inhale to come back up and exhale, left fingertips to the mat. Inhale to come back up and exhale, left fingertips to the mat. Inhale to come back up. And this time, both hands come back down to the mat, as does the right knee. A round of cat-cow, so breath in to dip the belly, gaze comes up, and exhale to tuck everything under. Coming back to neutral, let's tuck the toes now. And we're going to come into our little knee hover. So making sure the shoulders are above the wrists. Let's draw that lower belly in and up. And we're just going to lift those knees just a couple of centimeters off of the mat. Make sure that lower belly is in tight. Don't forget to breathe. And doming up through the shoulders. One more breath. And release the knees to the mat. Well done. Just having a little bit of a break before we do that once more. Breath in. Let's lift those knees again. And on the next exhale, right knee taps right elbow. Inhale, take the toes back, but the knee's still hovering. And left knee, left elbow. Take it back. Right knee, right elbow. Take it back. And left knee to left elbow. take it back. Let's push up to our downward facing dog. Maybe taking a little pedal or coming into stillness, whatever your body needs. Breath in, right leg lifts. Exhale, right knee taps right elbow. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, right knee taps left elbow, hold. Inhale, shoot it back up, three-legged dog. Right knee taps right elbow, hold. Down to the right wrist, back to the right elbow, and shoot it back, three-legged dog. Right knee to left elbow, hold. Left wrist, back to the left elbow, and shoot it back to three-legged dog. Maybe keeping that right leg up for a one-legged vinyasa flow, or you can bring it down to the mat to down dog. Taking your choice. Breath in, ripple forward, high plank. Lower chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or baby cobra. And exhale back to our down dog. Breathing in, 2, 3. Out, 2, 3. Breath in, left leg lifts, and exhale, left knee taps left elbow. Inhale, shoot it back, and exhale, left knee to right elbow. Inhale, shoot it back. Left knee, left elbow, hold, down to the left wrist, back to the left elbow, and inhale, shoot it back. Exhale, left knee, right elbow, down to the right wrist, back to the right elbow, and shoot it back. Whew. And taking another flow, three-legged perhaps, or maybe bringing that foot down to the mat. Inhale, ripple forward, high plank, lower chaturanga. Inhale to up dog, and exhale back to downward facing dog. Let's all drop our knees for child's pose. And working to sink those hips back towards the heels, let's creep those hands forward. So using the fingertips to walk forwards, and you're going to lift the hands off of the mat. So it's a really active child's pose through the arms. The fingertips are really plugging in. Let's walk the hands over to the right. So taking a bit of a side body stretch here and making sure that we're anchoring that left hip down. You might take the left hand on top of the right hand for an extra stretch. And hands come back through center. Let's take it over to the opposite side now. So hands walk over to the left. Maybe stacking that right hand on top of the left. Drawing that right hip back. So feeling that nice stretch all the way through the right side body. And hands come back up through center. Let's push up to our tabletop. And maybe just sitting back onto your heels for a moment. We're going to take our legs out in front of us. And we're going to set up for our Navasana, our boat pose. So there are a few options here, but before we even get into our boat pose, I want you to think about sitting up really nice and tall. So belly draws in and up and our shoulder blades come back. So at all times we want to keep a really straight spine in our Navasana and a proud chest. So option one is to take clasp at the back of the thighs and our legs come up any amount. So you can keep them a little bit bent, but we hold those thighs and we can draw our chest forward. Option two, hands by the side. And we're really working to plug those legs in. If it's within your practice, you can work to straighten those legs out, But for me, that's really difficult because I've done a few classes today, so I'm going to stick with option number 2. Belly is drawing in and up, and don't forget to breathe. Let's cross over at the ankles now and come back over into all fours. We're going to tuck our toes and push back to our down dog. Breathing in, 2, 3, out, 2, 3. Breath in, ripple forward to high plank, and exhale, bending the knees, taking the hips back, pushing up to our down dog. Let's do that again. Breath in, ripple forward, high plank. Exhale, bending at the knees, taking the hips back and up. Inhale, ripple forward, and exhale, taking our hips back to our down dog. Let's try that in reverse now. So let's bend the knees down towards the mat, and then we spring forward to our plank. Back to down dog, and again, bending the knees towards the mat, springing forward to our high plank, and then back to down dog. Once more. And rippling forward now to our high plank. Right knee draws into the chest, and then step it back. Left knee draws into the chest, and then step it back. Bringing the feet together to touch. We're still in our high plank. We're just going to roll to the outer blade edge of the right foot, but we're still staying in our high plank. Rolling back over the toes. Let's take it to the left. Left outer blade edge. Back across the toes to the right and to the left. To the right and to the left. Once more each side. Right and left. Back through center. And let's widen that stance. Holding. And lower the knees. Let's lower all the way down to the mat. Arms reach back beside our hips, palms face down. And we're going to come through that cobra again. So breath in, head and shoulders off of the mat first, and exhale to release. This time the arms lift, breath in, and exhale to release. This time everything lifts, breath in, and hold. Breathing in, and out. Breath in and release to the mat. Hands under shoulders. Let's tuck back to our child's pose. And coming back to all fours. We're going to extend that right arm in front of us and extend the left leg behind. Holding here for a moment. And exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale to extend. And this time, instead of bringing the elbow to the knee, we're going to take our right arm out to the right as the left leg comes out to the left. So it's like we're making airplane wings with our right arm and left leg. And we're holding. Try to lift that left leg a little higher. And bringing them back to center, and hand and knee come to the mat. Whew. Let's flush that out with a cat-cow before we get onto the other side. Breath in, belly dips. And exhale to tuck everything under. I don't know if you can hear Jess panting, but I think she's hot just watching us. Left arm extends and the right leg. Exhale, elbow to knee, just the once. Inhale to extend, and this time left arm comes out to the left, right leg out to the right. We've got our weird wonky aeroplane shape that we're making. Belly draws in and up. Let's lift that leg a little higher, and then coming back to center and down to the mat. Well done. Breath in, belly dips, and exhale to tuck everything under. Let's come down to our forearms now. We're coming back to our forearm plank. So tucking the toes and lifting up the hips. We're just here for a moment, and we're going to roll onto the right outside blade edge of the foot. Let's stack those feet and come into our low forearm side plank. Left arm can be reaching up, or you can bring that to your hip. And let's all try to rise those hips up a little bit higher. Left arm comes to the mat. Let's roll over the toes and we take it to the left side. Right arm lifts to the sky. Working to lift those hips a little higher. And right arm comes back to the mat, back onto the toes. Now for my least favorite of all asanas, dolphin. Let's walk those toes in as far as they go. So we pike the hips up. It's like we're coming into our down dog. And you can take a bend to these knees. So for me, I really need to have bent knees in order to get my back flat. Drawing the belly in and up and pushing the forearms into the ground. Holding here. And releasing the knees to the mat, keeping them together, taking the head to the mat, child's pose, but dragging the arms on either side of the body just to release through the shoulders. Dolphin, whew, it's a tough one. For me anyway. If you like that pose, then more power to you. And let's come back up to seated. We'll come through just a short standing sequence before we finish up. So we'll get into our core in a different way. So let's just come to a standing position. At the back of your mat's fine. Actually, before we rise up to standing, let's dangle down and just release any tension. So fingertips can be touching the mat. In our ragdoll, you might like to take hold of opposite elbows or even interlace the fingers at the back of the head to draw yourself a little bit deeper. Or there's even the bind. I think my shoulders need that opening. Oh, I don't know if you can hear all those creaks, but gosh, that feels good. If you've got the bind behind your back, then really drawing that fist up and overhead. You can have as much of a bend in your knees as feels comfortable so that that belly drapes over the thighs. And releasing the hands to the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to shins for this one. Drawing those shoulder blades together. Let's draw that tummy in. And now take the hands to prayer at heart center. So we're using the power of our core to stay lifted. One more breath. And exhale to fold. Inhale, let's ripple up to standing. Arms reach up and overhead and hands through Heart Center Anjali Mudra. Let's plug that right foot into the mat and draw our left knee into our belly. So really drawing that knee in as high as it can go by using those lower core muscles. And if this is enough for you, then just staying here. But if you'd like to test that core strength even more, let's kick out that leg any amount. The shakes are good. I've certainly got them, so don't worry if you're shaking. Holding for another breath. And exhale, knee comes back to the chest before we step the foot down to the mat. Let's just shake out those legs. Maybe give a little shoulder roll. Jess, you look very pooped. You look kind of like all blissed out. Is that the heat today? Breath in, arms reach overhead. And exhale, hands to Heart Center Anjali Mudra. Left foot plugs into the mat as our right knee comes into our chest. Drawing that lower belly in and up, engaging the left glute. Maybe lifting the right knee a little higher. This might be where you stay, or you can try and extend that right leg any amount. Holding. One more breath in and out, and then knee comes back to chest and we step that right foot down. Breath in, arms reach up to the sky, and exhale to fold all the way down to the mat. Inhale, half lift, hands come to shins, and exhale to take the hands back to the mat. Let's walk back out to our high plank. And making sure that tailbone is tucked, doming up through the shoulders, holding here. Let's lower the knees just to touch the mat, and then we straighten back to our high plank. Again, knees kiss the mat and straighten. Knees kiss the mat and straighten. Knees to kiss the mat and straighten. One more. And straighten, and then we're lowering all the way down to the mat. Let's take our forearms out in front of us, back to our Sphinx pose. And let's just make it a really relaxed Sphinx. So the feet might like to come out wide here. And if this doesn't feel so good on that lower back, then maybe lower all the way down to the mat and just rest your forehead on your hands in crocodile. And sometimes that just a gentle pushing of the pubic bone into the mat can really release any tension through that lower back. And now let's all release down to the mat. So folding the arms over, head can rest on the palms, and maybe just rolling the hips from side to side. You might massage out the head on the backs of those hands. Deep breath in through the nose and open the mouth. Sigh it out. Do that again. In through the nose and open the mouth to sigh it out. Let's take the hands underneath the shoulders and let's push up to a gentle seat. So cross-legged or kneeling is fine. We'll just come through a few little gentle twists to finish off with. So breath in, arms reach up overhead. And exhale, right fingertips to the mat, left fingers reach up and overhead, plugging that left sit bone down into the heel. Inhale, arms reach back overhead, and exhale, left fingertips to the mat, right arm reaches overhead. Inhale, arms back up overhead, and we're going to take the twist. So left hand comes to the outer left or right thigh as the right arm wraps behind into the bind. Breath in to sit tall, and exhale to twist a little deeper. And breath in, both arms reach overhead. And exhale, left arm comes into the bind, right hand levers off of that left thigh into the twist. The inhale sits us up nice and straight, and the exhale twists us a little deeper. Arms reach back up and overhead, and hands through heart center, our Anjali Mudra. Thank you for practicing this mini core session with me today. Working our core is just so important for yoga, as I mentioned at the beginning of that class. And the more core strength we have, it's just going to support us better in our day-to-day life and activities, and especially help us when we're on the mat. So I hope you enjoyed that class. Namaste. And if you did enjoy, perhaps think about subscribing to my YouTube channel, hitting like, showing me some love below, and potentially leaving even a comment. See you next time. My name's Sarah DeBorre, and you're practicing with Sarah DeBorre Yoga.